Good afternoon, it's Todd Rothstein of Great Falls Construction in Gorham, Maine. And today I'm in Springvale for a look around at the Soutehr Maine Veterans Cemetery. And behind me you'll see some of the work that we've done a couple years ago in one of the phases of this new cemetery that was established for veterans in the community. And I'll just give a quick look, because this is an area that we built several years ago in one of the first phases of the cemetery construction work, and then out in another phase we put in these bases for new columbariums that we will be installing this fall. Got the flagpoles that were established and installed about a year or so ago. And this is where the area where family will gather at times before the ceremony for a loved one. Actually, this unit right here, this structure right here, is somewhat familiar. We have components of it on our brochures. Of course, it was in the installation phase, but now this, of course, is completed. Across the street, we're at another phase of the construction that we're working on, and that is a new administrative building for the cemetery. And this unit actually is going to be receiving a Geo Thermal heating system, and actually it's going to have a special roof system called SIPS panels. And what they are is they are insulated panels for the roof that will be installed pre-mounted with the insulation already on the panels. I was just going to take a look down below just to show you some of the work that's required to put in for a geothermal system.
Other ones do it, but you can see the pipes coming.
So this one right here?
This one here is just a drilled well right now. The loop's not in it yet.
And that's about 260
feet deep.
Nice.
Yep.
And then across here?
400, 400, and 400.
Right. And all these sleeps, obviously, they're all 400 feet deep.
Yeah, and the one behind the transformer is an even 3. That's the one that we hit the big water.
Right. And then they'll all go back into the building.
These are all going to be hooked in series, and they all go into the building.
Nice.
Yep. Yep. We've got to grout every one of these next week. We have to fill them with a special geothermal grout.
Inside these tubes?
Each one of them. Yeah, every one of them. Yep.
Just to keep those...
You've got to seal the borehole right off.
That's right, so no water gets in.
Because when we're all done, that casing comes out. That's a sealed vault, basically.
I gotcha. Well, that's interesting. So you'll fill that with grout, and then you'll pull it out, the sleeve out?
Once we get the whole thing filled with grout, then we pull that 6-inch steel casing out.
Yeah.
And once the casings are all out, now it's earthwork time. Now dig the ditches and start taking the lines in.
Nice. So next week when the fellows come back here, they'll finish up some of the loops like they were talking about on the geothermal system, and then the earthwork they'll start bringing those lines back into the building, as you can see behind me. Right now the building's been framed. It's got an external sheathing, which is called dense glass, of course, as you can see. There's obviously the footings, foundation walls have all been installed. You've got your coating on the exterior of the concrete, and there's a ledge here for a new your exterior materials, which is block material that'll go around the perimeter of the exterior of the walls. So just take a quick look inside. It's all been framed, and remember, if you've seen before, we've taken some videos where you've got your concrete, you've got your sill seal below, and some places where you've shimmed, and you've got your pressure treated materials for your base plate first, and then your non-treated woods on top. And you'll see just typical spruce wood. And you'll see that throughout the interior, throughout the concrete. You'll always start off with your pressure treated materials first, and then you'll apply all your stud walls and stud bases on top of that. And that's what we've got here. Each time an opening, you've got your king studs and then your jack studs next to it, which will hold up your header. In this case, it's called a paralam, which is a veneered material, multi-layered. It's very durable and it holds solid any openings that span across a certain distance. And you see how it's on the flat face. Also, that helps the stronger point of the wood. And just circle around. Of course, all your stub ups that came from underground for electrical piping here, you could tell by the gray color. And then in the center, probably your plumbing piping all set up from below. And that's very important when you're doing layout, because all of your underneath work has to be done, set in place, and has to be exact, of course, because when you frame all your walls, and you will have to make sure that, for instance, these are vents, and as you can see, vent pipes and drain pipes for in this case there's a sink, another sink, and that has to be in the walls when we frame, and then it'll come out of the wall when we're all completely framed out of the sheetrock. And you can see we've done a layer of sill seal that has to be wrapped, because today's code, concrete cannot be installed right up against PVC piping, so we wrap it with a layer of sill seal and then we pour. Same thing with your drains, your floor drains. We'll wrap it and then we'll cover it so no water or no mud or anything gets in those drains. That's very important. Your stud work, 16 inches on center nowadays. At one point it was 24 inches on center. That's much, obviously it's stronger having the studs closer together. And then above me you'll see all of the framing of your truss system for the building. And we'll be waiting for the panels that will be installed on top of the trusses. All right. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to show you just the new site here and just see how really lovely it is. And it is a really honorable project to be working on, and to have a place where it's really nice for people to come to be able to visit their loved ones at their final resting places in the community. Very clean, very just different shapes and different elements of nature that are available just on the construction here, how we utilized, or not we, how it was used. Just basically just taking the small road up here towards the front of the facility. You'll see there are some plots that have been installed. They're all sectioned off. And then this here is the front gate. And I wanted to just give a chance for you to take a look at it. So thank you for taking this tour with me, Todd Rothstein of Great Falls Construction in Gorham, Maine, at the site of the Southern Maine Veterans Cemetery in Springvale, Maine.